The Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Week 4 college football picks. Sorry again, it's coming Saturday morning, but I fell asleep last night, didn't get a chance to film it last night. So um, let me just update you on the records real quick. Overall, 23-17 overall. We have picked 40 games so far, so we're 23-17 overall. Against the spread, we're 20-20. Like to be a little bit better in that. Locks of the week was 7-2. Upsets 1-8. Want to be a little bit better in the upset category. I don't expect to be. The goal is with the upset categories to be around 500. So want to be a little bit better than 1-8. But last week in college football, not really any big games. I believe we have two top 25 matchups this week. A lot of good games this week. I think 14 games for you this week to pick. So let's get right into it. We'll kick it off in the straight up category. I believe we have 9 games in the straight up category. If I'm not mistaken, no, 8 games in the straight up category. So let's get into it. Number 11 Clemson versus number 21 Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a 7-point dog at home against Clemson. I do think this game is going to be it's going to be kind of a competitive game. It's not going to be like the previous Clemson versus Wake Forest games. So I do think this is a game to watch. But I think Clemson pulls away a little bit at the end. Wake Forest defensively is just not that good. And they're one-dimensional offense. They don't really have much of a running game. I feel like Clemson, once they make adjustments to what Wake Forest is doing, they'll pull away from this one. I like Clemson to win and cover. I'll take Clemson to win this game 29-17. It's still a little bit of a low-scoring game. I still think people are saying that Clemson's defense isn't as good as it was last year. I think that noise is getting will get to this defense, and they'll have a good day defensively. So go ahead and give me Clemson to win and cover on the road against number 21 Wake Forest, 29-17. Next game, number 8 Baylor versus Iowa State. Iowa State is a 2-point favorite at home against Baylor. I'm telling you guys right now, I just think Baylor is the better team. Iowa State's not a bad team. Don't get me wrong. They will score some points. I do think this will be a close game, but I'm going to take Baylor in the mild upset. I'll take Baylor +2, and I'll take them to win outright, 27-21 Baylor. I just think Dave Aranda, and trust me, these are two very good coaches going up against each other. I just think that Dave Aranda is just a better coach than Matt Campbell from what I've seen so far since both of them has been head coaches. So go ahead, give me Baylor to win this game, 27-21. Next game, this to me this is the game of the week. Number 24 Florida versus number 6 Tennessee. It's great to see this game mean something again. Tennessee is an 11-point favorite at home. I think Tennessee wins. That spread, in my opinion, is very I think that's a good number. I really do. These next 2 games I'm going to be talking about, I think the numbers are perfect for where the spreads need to be. I just think Tennessee's better, and I think Florida's a bit too inconsistent. I think Florida will have some success against Tennessee, but I'm going to take Tennessee to win and cover here, and I hope I'm right. I have Tennessee winning the game 38-23. So go ahead, give me the Volunteers over the Gators. And this is the other game. I think the number is perfect. Number 17 Texas versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a 7-point dog at home. I think Texas Tech's going to give Texas a game. Quinn Ewers is still out. They think he's going to be back by the Red River Shootout, though, which is good. I just look at Texas. They're going to run the ball. Texas Tech, I still don't think the defense is that good for Texas Tech. But I think this is going to be a close game. I'm going to take Texas to win the game. I think they go into Lubbock and find a way to win. But I'm going to take Texas Tech +7 at home. I have the game 34-28 Texas. I just have a sneaky feeling that Texas Tech's going to cover here. Next game. Oops. Hold on a second. Next game. Notre Dame versus number 22 North Carolina. North Carolina is a 2.5 point favorite at home. I think this is gonna be a good game. I do. But I think North Carolina at the end is gonna win and cover. Notre Dame just does not have the offense that could go in there and just take advantage of North Carolina's bad defense and just win the game basically doing that. North Carolina's offense is pretty good. They're going to hit a play or two against Notre Dame's defense. 30 to 23, North Carolina is the score I have. I think North Carolina gets the win and they cover. Next game, number 14, Minnesota versus Michigan State. Michigan State is a 2.5 point dog against Minnesota at home. To me, this is the true serum game for Michigan State. This game, I think, will define Michigan State's season. I think it's gonna be a low-scoring game. I just think Minnesota is that good. I think Minnesota is the best team in the Big Ten West. And to be honest, the more I watch the highlights and the more I think about it, I don't think it's even that close. I'll go ahead and take number 14 Minnesota to win on the road, but I am going to take Michigan State plus 2.5 at home. I do think this. I have the game as a 2 point game. 23-21 Minnesota on the road against Michigan State. Next game, number 20 Arkansas versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 2 point favorite. This game is in Arlington, Texas, and Jerry's World. I don't know why this game's a neutral site game every year. I don't get it. But I'm going to take Texas A. Excuse me. I'm going to take Texas A&M to win and cover here. I told you guys I'm not sold on Arkansas. I know they have 2 wins against Cincinnati, South Carolina, but they went into that Missouri State game and basically drove the struggle bus throughout that game. Texas A&M defensively, I think it's just they'll win this game based off the defense. Arkansas will make a few mistakes. I got this game 28-16 Texas A&M over number 20 Arkansas. Next game, and this is the final game in the straight up category, Kansas State versus number 10 Oklahoma. Um, Kansas State lost to Tulane last week, so you know they're going to be rooted in animal mode. Oklahoma, a lot of people have Oklahoma in their top 5. I still got to see a little more to prove it. I still want to see a little more to go there. But they're at home. I think they do beat Kansas State. I think this is also a good number for this game. And as a matter of fact, I think Kansas State does get a backdoor cover. I got this game 34-21 Oklahoma, but give me Kansas State plus 13.5 on the road. Chris Klieman has had great history against Oklahoma during his tenure as the Oklahoma coach. As the Kansas State coach, excuse me. Now my locks of the week. 3 locks of the week. We'll kick it off with my Maryland Terps against number 4 Michigan. I am a Maryland Terps fan. Pains me to say this. I think Michigan wins and covers here, minus 17. Some people I think are kind of hyping up this game a little bit, saying, "Oh, this is Michigan's first real test," and this is the best team Michigan has faced all year. Let's be real. I'm not saying that because I'm a Terps fan. I'm saying that because that's the truth. But it's a 17-point spread. To me, some spreads kind of stink. And to me, this spread with Michigan actually kind of stinks a little bit. This is probably actually one I would stay away from if I was betting it. But I just think Michigan is that much better. I got the game 45-24 Michigan. Some people are thinking this Michigan can hang 60 on Maryland. I'm going to come out and say right now, I like what I saw from Maryland's defense in the second half, and I think if they can build off that, I think this defense can actually be a comparable defense. So go ahead, give me number 4 Michigan to win and cover 45-24 Michigan. Second lock of the week, Wisconsin versus number 2 Ohio State. I have Ohio State winning and covering this game. It's a 19.5 point spread. I know that's kind of a big number, but I think this game has 34-7 Ohio State written all over it, and that's actually the score prediction I have. Wisconsin, I think, is going to try a few things early, but it's just not going to work out. Their defense will keep them in this game enough, I think, probably at least halfway through the third quarter, but Ohio State's just going to pull away. 34-7 Ohio State's the score I have in this one, and they win and cover. And then the last lock of the week, number 5 USC on the road against Oregon State. A lot of people are hyping up Oregon State. I don't know why. And I know Oregon State's 3-0. I know Jonathan Smith is doing an excellent job there in Corvallis, there at Oregon State. I know the game's up there in Corvallis. I know that USC has a history of struggling up there and even getting flat out upsetted. I'm thinking of 2009 with Mark Sanchez there, or was it 2007? When when they ran up there as the number one team and got upset by Oregon State. USC is only a 5.5 point favorite on the road. I think they win and cover. Oregon State just does not have the players to go up against this USC offense, in my opinion. I think it's a physical game. I think it's kind of a close game, but I think USC pulls away 33-17 USC over Oregon State. I'll take USC to win and cover there. And then my three upsets of the week for Wolves for the upsets, they have to be at least a 3 point dog. All these upsets are about 7 point dog. One of them I do think is going to happen. The other two I kind of have find two other upsets, but I feel pretty good about both of these upsets, or at least the teams get that are underdogs getting a cover here. But the one I'm confident in, number 19 Oregon versus Washington State. I think Washington State pulls off the upset. They're 6.5 point dogs at home, 28-24 Washington State. Oregon has struggled going into Pullman. It has been well documented. They have struggled going into there. I think those struggles continue. Washington State's going to be fired up. They're undefeated. They have a bit of an underdog mentality. I think they get the outright win as a 6.5 point dog at home. 28-24 Washington State. Give me Wazoo there. Speaking about Wazoo, Mizzou. I have Mizzou, Missouri, going on the road and pulling off the upset against Auburn. Auburn is a 7 point favorite at home. Listen, the more I look at that Auburn situation, the more I think it's bad, and the more I'm leaning towards I think Brian Harsin is going to be going. I was kind of holding out hope for him. I'm kind of running away from those comments. And Eli Drinkridge is not so much in a good spot either, but I think the two things that Eli Drinkridge does have going for him is the expectations aren't as high for him. Like Missouri, you could go 8-4 there every year and be good. And also, Eli Drinkridge is probably recruiting the best Missouri has ever seen. So he does have that going for him. I think they go on the road and pull a surprise upset. 7 point dogs on the road, 24-20 is the score I have. Auburn has quarterback problems. I know Missouri has some quarterback problems as well. But I'll go ahead overall for I'll go ahead and take Missouri. Uh and I'll go ahead and take Missouri to win the game outright, 24-20. And then the last upset I have here, the last one I have is Miami of Ohio, the MAC team, going on the road and pulling off the upset against Northwestern. I won't trust Northwestern to be a JV football squad. I have Miami of Ohio winning the games 19-16. Miami of Ohio is a 7.5 point dog on the road. I think they pull off the outright upset. I don't trust Northwestern right now. 19-16. Miami of Ohio over Northwestern and that upset. Comment in the comment section. Since I'm doing this live, I usually don't do these lives. I'll be honest, I didn't really watch any football last night. Primarily because I was tired, fell asleep around 9. I did watch a little bit of that Virginia Syracuse game before I fell asleep. I saw Syracuse jump out 7-0. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're Syracuse, and I'll watch the highlights before the noon games, you got the win 7-0. I mean, you got the win. You got the win. You're 4-0. And to be honest, Dina Baber's going to keep his job. But you got the win. That's all that matters, really. I think. I mean, was it sloppy? It looks like it probably was sloppy. I'll watch the highlights though, and make a determination, because I do think Syracuse definitely needs to be considered to be a top 25 team. So I have to look at the highlights of that. But it's an ACC opponent. You got the win at home. That's all that matters. So good for Syracuse being 4-0. Good for West Virginia going on the road and getting a big win on the road for Virginia Tech as well. That's a big win for Neil Brown. He needed that. So the final score I think was 33-10. I watched the first 3 quarters of that before I fell asleep, but um, good win for Neil Brown there. Any other results? Boise State lost on the road to UTEP. Wow, I'm gonna be honest with saying this. I think Andy Alvarez was a downgrade from previous Boise State coaches. Air Force bounced back with a big win against Nevada. So and I think there was another game on Thursday night, if I'm not mistaken. If I appreciate that, Syracuse Buffer Sports, but let me see the Thursday. What else happened there? I think Illinois pitched a shutout against their FCS opponent, but oh yeah, Coastal Carolina beat Georgia State. Georgia State's 0-4. I'm a bit surprised by that, but Coastal Carolina is 4-0. But um, yeah, I can't wait for this Saturday. I need to pop off because I actually have to run some errands, do some things before this uh before the games kick off. Um, so thanks for watching the video. Hit the thumbs up, please subscribe to the channel. McD the Beast signing off.